Good afternoon. Today is March 7th, 2024. Welcome to the bill hearings for the Ways and Means Committee. First, we will call House Bill 1516. I almost said Delegate Lukey. Flashbacks.
And I hope it's okay if I bring up Mr. Greenberg from SDAT as well. Thank you, Madam Chair. Lovely to see you. Always nice to be back in Ways and Means, members of the committee. This bill is pretty straightforward, technical corrective bill to assist with a recent challenge at SDAT. It's something we need to get done this session in order to correct an error that will affect local government finances, and in partnership with our local government partners, we are trying to advance a solution to it as quickly as possible. And we would ask for a favorable report, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Greenberg.
Good afternoon, Chair Atterbury, Vice Chair Wilkins, and members of the committee. For the record, I'm Josh Greenberg here on behalf of the Department of Assessments and Taxation in support of House Bill 1516. This is a technical corrective bill that would permit the department to send notices of assessment up to May 1st, 2024, beyond the normal deadline of January 31st, 2024. Due to a technical error, the department's 2024 reassessment of approximately 100,000 properties were mailed out after January 31st this year. Under current law, in many situations, if the notice of assessment was not mailed out by that date, an irrebuttable presumption that the property's value has not changed applies. Were this to happen by SDAT's calculations, counties could stand to lose a combined total of $151 million in property tax revenues over the next 3 years. So this bill is a technical corrective bill to allow us to send out those notices, and it would apply to any notices that have been sent out prior to May 1st and subsequent to January 31st. Thank you.
Okay, any questions? Delegate Hornberger.
Just a simple question. Was this a software-driven error? Was this a practice issue? Why did this occur?
We are conducting an audit to drill down on exactly the nature of the issue. It was a technical error with one of our vendors.
Great. Thank you so much.
Any further questions? Okay, seeing none. Thank you both very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
That concludes the hearing on House Bill 1516. House Bill 1372. Is Delegate Martinez here? No, so we're going to skip over that. Delegate Harrison, House Bill 1413. You are very kind to step in for Delegate Alston.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Madam Chair. To the members of the Ways and Means Committee, for the record, I'm Delegate Andrea Harrison, here to present to you House Bill 1413. And what it does is it establishes a Prince George's County Development Authority. This authority is imperative as it develops comprehensive neighborhood revitalization plans that address the needs of specific Prince George's County residents, housing, transportation, and overall economic growth. The authority will be comprised of members from different sectors that include government elected officials, community organizations, and residents. This way, the needs of everyone is considered. If enacted, this bill would help to address economic barriers that some of our residents are facing. And I would say that these are specifically within our district, within the 24th district. It is the west end of the Blue Line Corridor, and they are communities, municipalities, and unincorporated areas that have historically been underserved, forgotten, and left behind. And so with that, we would ask for a favorable report on 1413, House Bill 1413.
Okay, and I believe you have someone virtual, Kelly Porter from Seat Pleasant. No, she's not in there. Okay. All right, she's not here. So questions, Delegate Fair.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you so much for presenting the bill. It's a quick question on the Maryland Department of Aging's letter. They submitted favorable with amendment. The amendment was, I think, if I'm reading it correctly, just that we better prescribe exactly what department this position would lie in. Is that?
I thought that I understood that that they wanted to be a part of the Development Authority because it is an established community, and you do have a lot of individuals who are of age
Mhm.
in that community. And they wanted, from what I understood, they wanted to make sure that the needs of those residents are taken into account, specifically housing and affordable housing.
So would you consider that a?
Yes, we would
friendly-
consider that a friendly amendment.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any further questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That concludes the hearing on House Bill 1413. Delegate Valderrama, House Bill 1391. Yep.
Good afternoon, esteemed members, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, honorable members of the Ways and Means Committee. For the record, Chris Valderrama here to present House Bill 1391. It is the video lottery terminals distribution of local impact grants, Town of Forest Heights. Just to preface by letting you know, I have one municipality, just one in my district, so I would urge a favorable report just on that fact alone. Having said that, from the outset, I'd just like to state that District 26 delegation consisting of Senator Anthony Muse, myself, Delegate Turner, and Delegate Woods, we all support this legislation, which would, if you move so favorably, to increase the amount of the local impact grant from video lottery terminal proceeds paid to the municipality Town of Forest Heights from $120,000 to $1 million. Yes, $1 million. I know you're aware that the local impact funds account for 5.5% of the proceeds at each facility in our great state. The MGM National Harbor facility, which is in District 26, is located just 2 miles outside from the Town of Forest Heights and is the highest grossing casino outside of Las Vegas, generating a gross gaming revenue of $834.1. And moreover, because of a hold harmless clause, which we entered to with MGM when the casino was built, Prince George's County, though it generates the highest gaming revenues in the state, it does not receive as much impact funding as some other jurisdictions do. And so the additional funds that would go to Forest Heights would receive under this legislation will allow the only municipality within 2 miles of MGM to offset some of the costs associated with its proximity to MGM. The current amount of $120,000 that is currently being held is insufficient to meet this jurisdiction's growing needs, and money received will be used to address pressing infrastructure improvements, public safety enhancements, sanitation services, and other vital services in proximity to the video lottery facility. And in addition, these funds will significantly bolster our ability to invest in economic and community development initiatives. This investment has the potential to attract new businesses, create jobs, and stimulate economic growth in Forest Heights and the nearby areas. So this adjustment fund is not merely a financial matter, but a commitment to ensuring that communities like Forest Heights can thrive and benefit from the presence of video terminal facilities. And with that, I move a favorable report.
Good afternoon, Chair Atterbury and members of the Ways and Means Committee. I am Mayor Troy Lilly for the Town of Forest Heights, and I'm here to express my wholehearted endorsement of House Bill 1391. This bill is vital in addressing the unique challenges and fostering the growth of our community. As mayor of our town, I've witnessed the increasing demands posed by population growth, heightened traffic, and particularly in areas that surround and abut our community. One pressing concern that we face is the escalating wear and tear on our local roads. This is exacerbated by the influx of visitors due to the casino. The surge in traffic has resulted in elevated maintenance costs, putting a strain on our fiscal resources. House Bill 1391 and its proposed funding is indispensable for mitigating these challenges, and it allows us to address road maintenance effectively and ensure the safety and convenience of our residents. In tandem with the rise in population and traffic, public safety concerns are also tantamount. Increased policing is imperative to manage traffic-related issues and to curb ancillary crimes in our local businesses. Additional funding is crucial for deploying more law enforcement personnel and resources, especially around the casino area, where higher volumes of traffic and vehicles have raised concerns about speeding and congestion. I also want to underscore that we have actively engaged with our entire delegation, providing them with a comprehensive tour of our town to highlight our pressing infrastructure needs and proposed solutions. The support garnered through House Bill 1391 will significantly contribute to implementing these solutions. And it will also ensure the sustained well-being for our community. Furthermore, the proposed funding can play a pivotal role in promoting tourism and fostering economic development, as Delegate Valderrama has already mentioned. So in conclusion, House Bill 1391 stands as a crucial step to addressing our unique challenges and fostering the positive development of our community. I urge you to vote favorably on this bill, and thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, members of the Ways and Means Committee. My name is Joseph Joyner, and I'm here to express my full support of House Bill 1391. As a resident of the town of Forest Heights, I believe that the increased funding proposed by HB 1391 will be instrumental in supporting initiatives to attract businesses, both local and new, while mitigating potential negative impacts associated with the nearby casino. Firstly, the additional funding presents a valuable opportunity to implement strategic initiatives that would attract new businesses to Forest Heights. With careful planning and investment, we can create a business-friendly environment, offering incentives and support to local entrepreneurs while enticing external businesses to establish roots within our community. Moreover, the challenges associated with the nearby casino, such as increased traffic and potential strain on local resources, necessitates proactive measures. The funding proposed in HB 1391 provides the means to address these challenges head-on. By fostering a supportive environment for local businesses and addressing the potential challenges posed by external factors like the casino, Forest Heights can strike a balance that ensures sustainable growth while preserving the unique charm of our community. I urge the committee to support House Bill 1391. Thank you for your attention and consideration.
Thank you. Questions? Yep, Delegate Eversole.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So yes, hold harmless grants are a little confusing to people, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that we increased Forest Heights' share to $120,000 3 or 4 years ago. Now we're looking at $1 million. And what's going to happen here, and I want to know if this is true, this money is going to have to come out of several other hold harmlesses, as well as some money is going to be made up by the lottery fund. Is that correct? $880,000 from some other sources to go to the Forest Heights. Prince George's County, some of their local impact grant will go down, but also the 2 other areas, they'll be held harmless. They'll stay the same, but that would mean that the lottery the fund will have to make up the difference. Is that accurate?
Well, I personally just don't even want the hold harmless clause anymore, but having said that, I can't answer that. I don't know where it would be coming from. Is that what you're asking me? Where the money?
Yes, I mean, we're going to be giving Forest Heights another $880,000 if this bill passes. And so the question is, where is that? Some of that's coming out of general fund because that's lottery fund that funds that. But it looks like to me also that some of the other local impact grants would suffer unless we filled up the difference. And some of Prince George's County local impact grant would also be specifically, it's still Prince George's County. So I'm just trying to understand, it's a huge jump in the amount, you know, it's several 100% increase. So have any of the others weighed in on this, and has lottery or budget weighed in on the impact to the general fund?
Not to my knowledge, but I'm sure they may. No one's reached out to me since I submitted this legislation. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I know that you gentlemen, and I, by the way, applaud your efforts to improve your community and come up with, you know, funds to make your community good. And I understand being near a casino can be viewed as something that you need to overcome. That the funding is, it's just that you're interested in funding, but you're comfortable with wherever it's coming from at this point. You haven't looked into that particularly.
Well, to answer your question,
Yeah, thank you.
there was an amendment to the version of this bill introduced in the Senate. So the funding source is being addressed. I would love to answer your question in detail right now.
We'll do it offline. We can
We'll do it offline. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't want to put you on, I'm curious, but I want, and Delegate, I'm sorry to.
No, I apologize. I didn't know there was an amendment on the Senate side. My senator did not inform me of that.
Well,
So,
you know, it's
having
like,
said that-
it's like we say when there's a late bill, right? Blame it on the Senate, right? There you go.
Well, this one's factual. So, but anyway,
Thank you very much.
what's that?
Delegate Hornberger.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Certainly appreciate the effort here, but these other jurisdictions that are listed, it looks like they are all started out at around 200,000 aggregate. So, they're probably experiencing the same things that you are. Would you be open to other jurisdictions also seeing an increase?
Sure. Well, I'm not familiar with how close the other jurisdictions are. If they're we're actually within a mile and a half. We have our own police department. We have a state highway, Maryland 210, which runs directly through the town and carries the highest volume of traffic into Washington, D.C. and into Southern Prince George's County. So our effect, I believe, is unique as far as I know, compared to the other localities. And we're asking for this because we have been providing the ancillary services and we expect that it's going to increase with newer development and attention being attracted to the area.
Yeah, the other one is the town of Perryville, where the casino is actually located within the town limits. So that's something to consider. And then also, is this going to be a reoccurring fund or is this a one-time fund?
This will be a reoccurring fund.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Delegate Valderrama.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
That
Thank you, Madam
concludes-
Chair.
Thank you. That concludes the hearing on House Bill 1391. Delegate Amprey, House Bill 1427.
All right. Good afternoon, Chair Atterbury, Vice Chair Wilkins. Good to see you all. It's been a while since I've been back in Ways and Means. It's been a minute.
Welcome back. Last session, you were a frequent flyer.
You know, I
But we love
didn't
having you
want to
here.
wear out my welcome this year. You know, I got one bill, so it's an easy one. For the record, Delegate Marlon Amprey here in support of House Bill 1427, which is an adjustment to the West North Avenue Development Authority that this body established in 2021. I want to thank the body as a whole again for making this authority happen. We are fully staffed now in West Baltimore, doing amazing work, creating a more vibrant community. We have made some adjustments throughout the years, and the adjustments for this session are based on recommendations from the Assistant Attorney General and the authority's office. These recommendations are based on the Assistant Attorney General review of the authorities of other quasi-state economic development agencies have recommended for the authority will need. Some of these updates include, but are not limited to, update various terms and definitions of the authority board, creates a new fund, gives broader authority to the authority that mirrors other quasi-state economic development agencies reviewed, including things like the Stadium Authority and the Maryland Economic Development Authority. Not all authorities from the bill will be exercised unless asked by the City of Baltimore, as some members of the board consist of city representatives. Some of the reasons that we need some of the things that, based on these updates, are some of the studies that have been provided by Baltimore City regarding the vacant housing issues that we currently have. The data shows that in the 40th district, where this authority is located, 56% of those homes that are considered uninhabitable are in the 40th district. So if you take all the other districts in Baltimore City and combine them, they still don't have as many vacant homes that are in the 40th district. So one of the main goals of this authority is to address that issue by streamlining and thinking through how we can redevelop these communities in a thoughtful way. Moreover, the estimated investment cost for redevelopment puts the West North Avenue Development Authority at the top in comparison to other neighborhoods and districts, as I just mentioned. And I also want to make clear and state that this is considered a local bill. The Baltimore City delegation voted this out unanimously. And with that said, I urge a favorable report on House Bill 1427. And we have the leader of the West North Avenue Development Authority here to offer some additional comments, Mr. Chad Williams.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, and other members of the committee. So what I usually do, if someone has already stated my statement, I'll just take questions for technical reasons.
We appreciate that. Thank you very much. Any questions? No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
You too. That concludes the hearing on House Bill 1427. House Bill 1372. Our last bill of the day. What? Delegate Martinez.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair and committee members. For the record, I am Delegate Ashanti Martinez, here to present House Bill 1372, health and taxation, digital social media services, and the mental health care fund for children and youth. We know that funding of mental health services is so critical to improving the lives of many of our community. Improving access to mental health services to young people in Maryland should be all of our responsibility. In this bill, the state treasurer will administer the fund and hold the fund separately for this specific use, and the comptroller will be accountable for the fund. HB 1372 would impose a tax on certain annual revenues made by digital social media services in Maryland that will be collected and calculated by the entities just described. The important note of this bill, it is not intended to replace funding that otherwise would be appropriated for improving access to children and youth mental health services in the state. We know that for a lot of these social media companies, ingrained in their business model is self-interest financially. For instance, according to the Fair Tax Foundation, Facebook has paid a measly 5% of its total revenue and taxes throughout the decade. Google, which I'm a fan of YouTube, has only paid 4% of its total revenue during that same period of time. However, imposing an additional tax on social media companies to fund youth and children mental health services in Maryland, I believe, is a good investment for the state. The World Health Organization has stated, based on their research, that every dollar invested in mental health services returns an economic value of $4. But most importantly, this bill is necessary to keep social media companies accountable for the risks that they put on our youth. Alarmingly, children here in Maryland experience anxiety and depression at a slightly higher average than the national. More than 12% of children suffer from anxiety and depression, and that is an estimated almost 140,000 kids. Getting these kids the adequate mental health services is necessary, and this bill is a step towards ensuring that we do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And there's a Serena Palin signed up. Yeah. Hi, whenever you're ready for 2 minutes, please.
Hello. Hello, delegates and representatives. My name is Serena Palin, and I'm currently a sophomore in high school here in Baltimore County. And I'm here to express my support towards HB 1372. As a teenager who uses social media myself, I'm able to understand the mental health struggles that come with the use of these platforms. From my personal experience, I can say that social media offers opportunities for connection, education, and collaboration. However, the negative mental health aspects of social networks are debilitating. And at an already crucial point in our lives, social media exponentially adds to the pressure and anxiety all teenagers feel. Affecting our physical health, emotional health, and our overall mental health, it is the social media company's obligation to help us face the effects of their product. The reach and influence of social media is only growing, as well as its impact on adolescents. By taking proactive steps and offering mental health resources to the youth of our state, the legislature will have made the first step towards addressing the crippling effects social media has and will have on future generations. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Delegate Young.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Delegate, for the bill. My question, looking at the fiscal note, it talks about, potentially $30 to $45 million in revenues, but that all of those revenues have to go to the special fund that you're creating. And so my question is more so about, not saying money shouldn't go, but should 30 million go, or is there a subset that might, still suffice and achieve the goals that you may have?
The 30 million is because of how large these companies are and how much money they make. This is the committee's product. So if you want to amend that certain funds or a percentage of that goes somewhere else, I'm all amenable to that as well. But I know right now in this moment, our students, our kids are asking for these services. I got my start in student government, and we used to ask for things like voting rights and, more recess, like things that were not as high level as mental health services, counselors. That's what's prioritized amongst young people right now. And I think dedicating the adequate funds to that is appropriate.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Delegate Ebersol.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you for bringing the bill. Thank you for worrying about children's mental health. There's
Absolutely.
a lot of good efforts out there, including the coalition of community supports right now. My question is, I'm looking online because I hadn't heard of the fund for the mental health care fund for children and youth. What came up was infant and early childhood mental health support services. Is that different? I know I'm asking you a technical question, but you might know the answer.
Yeah, so this fund would be separate from that. This is the creation of
Oh,
the fund.
So you're creating a new fund?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, and what organizations could access money from that fund? Or what is the intent? Is that in the bill? I'm sorry.
It isn't in the bill. I wanted to give some flexibility to the comptroller's office to be able to deliver funds. You know, there's a lot of questions around equity and how or where we should give funds depending on where the need is. And so I wanted to be able to have the agency be able to bring those guidelines and have the flexibility in distribution.
So in your mind, I don't know if you've heard of the consortium on coordinated community supports that's out there, but could that be one of the beneficiaries of this? I mean, we have money set aside for it, but that could offset some of the money or add to some of the money that they have in that group.
No, absolutely. And I think if the committee wants to put prescriptive language about where the money should go and what percentage, I'm all for that as well.
Well, thank you for your open-mindedness.
No, absolutely. It's a collaborative effort. I want something to be done. And so however we can get there, I'm all for it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you,
No,
Delegate
thank you all.
Martinez. Okay, folks, that concludes the hearing on House Bill 1373, and that concludes our bill hearings for today. Please be across the hall 150. Because I know y'all are gonna be late. You're gonna have to figure out where you're gonna sit.